Indiana Hoosiers. Oh, go ahead, Brad.
Sorry. I think the next step is an outro video.
Yes.
Send off. Because you're going to see it at the end of the show. And we're like, oh, peace out, go Hoosiers. Then we're just standing there for like 5 seconds. We're just like.
Hit a cool pose. Yeah, no, the outro music. We got a couple cool things coming down the pipe. We have a partnership that I won't disclose yet because we need to do some compliance things, me and you. But that'll be either next live show or next Tuesday. We'll be able to talk about that, which is super, super exciting. But yeah, it is the Larry Bird revenge game. It is Indiana State traveling to Indiana. We will get to all that in a second. I want to start kind of with this. I usually tweet everything out. I didn't tweet out my appearance on the college football show with Mark Rogers last night. I appeared on his show, number 12, I believe it is. So if you go to his channel, The Voice of College Football, go to the live shows, you'll be able to find that. Basically explain to him that I'm not embarrassed by Indiana's non-conference schedule and that I'm just really enjoying the ride as a Hoosier fan. So if you want to check out that appearance, head over to Mark's channel. Definitely give that a listen.
Definitely. Plug up Keezer. Get those clicks up for him. Plug my boy up.
Yeah, somebody got first person ever told me to get a real job today. What do they think I'm doing day to day?
Who did
that? Some rando on Twitter, some Illinois fan. The haters want the satisfaction of us talking about Illinois this week, but nay, they get nothing. We're gonna start with some smoke. We'll get into Indiana State, but the most important thing that came out literally just a couple of hours ago, was gearing up the whole start of the show to talk about Lewis Moore's court appearance. We mentioned it on Sunday morning. He was supposed to appear tomorrow. It was going to be the next round of eligibility hearings for him. I'm not sure exactly what legal thing happened in between then and today, but we got the announcement today that there's another TRO or whatever type, or TRE, whatever that exemption's called. And so Lewis Moore now has eligibility through September 20th, and the hearing is now the 24th. So why is that significant? September 20th, Illinois is going to travel to Indiana. So at the very least, if the NCAA is going to keep playing this game with Lewis Moore, he's eligible for the next 2 weeks. So that is
what's important is that he's here for the Indiana State game is probably the biggest thing here. Yeah, that's the next game, right? I do find it weird that they keep on extending him for 2 weeks at a time. Like, what is this? So like we're getting a little hot streak, and then they're like, oh, Louis out.
Yeah, so there was a bunch of very funny responses, and I wish I had the tweet sitting in front of me, but it's just like scrolling through the timeline. It was just, I felt like every good Hoosier account had a good one, but somebody was like, just 8 more of these, and we have Lewis Moore for the season or something like that. Or like 4 more of these, and Lewis Moore is good for the year. It's just like the fact that they're like choosing to play games basically with Lewis Moore when there are insane eligibility cases that they've either let slide or aren't dealing with, and it's just like I'm glad he's able to play for the next 2 weeks. I'm especially glad he's able to be on the field for Indiana State because we're going to need him. And it sucks that thing is still weighing over his head, but hopefully this gives his legal team enough time to put together a good defense and kind of put this thing to bed for good.
Yeah, what if they just keep extending him because he's won the last 2 helmet stickers, being on trial. Could be good for him. Just keep extending him. Don't keep him on his toes. Keep him playing well. It could be your last game, Louis. I kind of like him having that fire to him when he's playing. But yeah,
every game could be your last game.
All jokes aside, definitely would like that resolved as soon as possible. I don't think it's a distraction for the team, but it's definitely a distraction for Louis. And he's doing a great job of avoiding it affecting his play. If anything, it's elevating it. So yeah, he's taking it in stride and doing his thing.
Couldn't agree more. Could not agree more. We got a little bit of an injury update. McCarthy is still day-to-day. We're not sure if he's going to punt this weekend. I would lean towards probably not.
What is up with these special team injuries, man? Every year. They're skipping out on stretching these guys. Someone's got to keep an eye on them.
Oh, this is what I wanted to say before I lost my train of thought. In Sig's presser yesterday, he talked about the need to get lined up faster. And he put, honestly, a lot of the blame on the safeties, which I thought was pretty interesting. We closed Sunday's show talking about maybe Jamari Sharp wasn't in the best position. And maybe we got to peel back a little bit of the criticism of Jamari Sharp. We're not watching the film. We don't know the calls. We're not sure exactly who is responsible for busted coverages. So, to hear Sig call out the safeties, we know Signetti likes to put players who are playing well on blast. It's a good way to target the rest of your room. But I thought that was pretty interesting. He went out of his way to signal those guys out.
Yeah, no, it's a great call out because we did notice that, Jamari was kind of left on an island a couple times. And, we don't know what the play calls are. We just kind of see what they look like, the result of the play. And, it made Jamari Sharp look bad for sure. But, yeah, maybe it wasn't necessarily his fault. We're big Jamari Sharp fans. We're fans of Tutu. He's got the track speed, the length. Like, we're big fans of him. Tons of potential there. He's been in the program since Tom Allen, so couldn't be more happy for his success. But yeah, Sig might be trying to fire up some people in that DB room. I think they've been playing okay in terms of like their turnovers uptick from last year. I'd say at this point in the season, a little too many yards for my liking against Kennesaw State, especially considering that it wasn't even Dexter in there. It was the Owens kid. It was interesting. Amos? I thought his name was Owens. Anyways, we threw Kennesaw State out. Their other quarterback was in, and he was still able to eat on him a little bit and get up to like 160. So, we like to see that shirt up because Altmaier's coming to town in 2 weeks. But first,
Indiana State.
Kurt Mallory is coming to town.
Mallory comes to town first. Yeah. Yeah, that game is going to be on a Friday night, by the way. So Kurt Signetti's radio show moved up to Wednesday. Good note for the people. But I kind of want to stop here for a second, Brad. Old Dominion might actually be like a pretty good football team. And I know Colton Joseph had those 2 long runs against Indiana. So you look at his QB rush total, I think it's 297 or something like that. And you know where a lot of those yards came from. But at the same time, that's a team with a really tricky defense. They're well coached. They don't flinch under pressure. That's going to be a really tough matchup for Virginia Tech this weekend. And people spent the summer bashing Indiana's non-conference schedule, and based on the brands they played against, maybe they're correct. But Kennesaw State's going to be better than people thought they were. This Old Dominion team might be really good. And so Indiana's strength of schedule might, in terms of all the metrics we spent the summer and the winter, bashing and saying, don't pay attention to these because they won't give Indiana credit. Those metrics might end up making Indiana look better.
At least from ODU. I mean, I'm not going to bank on Kennesaw State for helping out our strength of record or strength of schedule toward the end of the year, but I called it in the preview. Old Dominion's a legit threat in the Sun Belt, and they're playing like it. They were able to beat up on a little FCS opponent last week and kind of look the part of a upper echelon Sun Belt team. And yeah, Colton Joseph is the perfect guy for that league. Dual threat, can make things happen because it's a chaos. It's not as skilled as the upper levels, so you need that dual threat. If you look at any of the James Madison quarterbacks that Signetti had, they're all dual threat guys. So he fits that mold in terms of what Signetti would look for in that league. So from that metric, Old Dominion's in a really good spot. And we already knew this was going to be their best team yet. Elite linebacker group too as well. I'd say it stacks up to some Power 4 schools as well. Might even be better. If you were to rank that linebacker room in the Big Ten, they'd probably be middle of the pack, which is crazy for Old Dominion.
Look at ESPN's FPI rankings, and again, not to keep you have to take the FPI rankings with a grain of salt, right? Because when a team plays Indiana, they're going to tumble in the rankings. So ODU plays Indiana, they go down. ODU plays somebody else that's not Indiana, they go up, right? Kennesaw State plays Indiana, they go down. But they moved up probably slightly after they were neck and neck with Wake Forest. So it'll be interesting to see which way those move. That's why when people are tweeting out that Indiana State and Kennesaw State are pretty close together, it's well, one of them played Indiana, the other one hasn't played Indiana yet. So what's going to happen after that?
Yeah, we'll see. I don't think Kennesaw State's better than Indiana State. That's just that's ludicrous.
Yes,
Indiana State is not a ranked FCS team. They're just not. We'll talk about them later. They are 2-0. We'll give them that. They got some good. They got a good coach. They got a good coach with some Indiana ties. We'll cover that later.
They are missing their starting quarterback, but yeah, I just think that ODU team is definitely being disrespected, and I mean, for my sake, I'd like to see them come out with a victory this weekend. That'd make Indiana look a lot better. Did you get a chance to see the Bison Rocky video?
Yeah, I did. He's such a goofball. That guy. way nail a bit, you know? That's what you want to see from a mascot guy that because I want a little personality. I know the duck gets a ton of like flack, but at least he has some personality to him. He has a you know where you're getting you actually don't know
Little pizzazz, little
which is
show
probably
business.
like his whole shtick, right? Like he's an agent of chaos, loves
Guy's
beating up on other mascots, and you know, I would love for that to be our guy. You know, I know it's for the kids at the end of the day, but you know, just punch the Boilermaker in the face.
Well,
like,
what do you think he was training for, Brad? I mean, we had Jeremy Gray showing off his acting chops again, being Mickey the trainer. Like, what do you think Hoosier the Bison was training for in that montage, Brad? Like, it wasn't just to like look good in the mirror. Like, he's coming after these mascots.
Where's his first mascot matchup? Is it Iowa? Right? They have a
Hawkeye, right?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not too sure about it.
I'm really not. I don't pay attention.
It could be the duck.
I didn't pay attention to Big Ten mascots because we didn't have one. But it honestly could be the duck. It might be the duck in the duck's house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, we might have to fight. He might have to fight the duck.
He might have to just.
That's my new thing. Actually, I want Hoosier the Bison to fight the duck.
Well, for one-time Pac-12 memory of the week was Pac-12 memory of the week was the Hoosier the Bison, or not Hoosier the Bison.
No, it was
the duck and
up on the Houston Cougar.
One
of my favorite videos ever. So funny. You guys don't leave the show, but you know, want to put on a little side thing on your phone.
Little second screen,
on double screen action, duck versus Houston Cougar happened in like 07. I don't know, a long time ago. But yeah, iconic.
Pitt Hoosier says next year we play Howard the Bison.
Or the Howard
Bison.
I don't know if they have a mascot either. They don't have a whole lot of money at those schools, to be honest.
The other debacle from this past week, Brad, and I can't believe we talked about it on Twitter, obviously, but we didn't talk about it, was the fact that the jerseys were printing with a 0 before the number.
Oh my God, that's a disaster. Disaster class to the extreme. Like what?
They finally got it right.
All of them, right?
Yeah, you had eventually, and then the response from the bookstore originally was like, "This is how we were told to do it. These are correct."
You know, it comes a time when you have a job and it's just like, you know, like use some common sense, right? Like, have you ever seen 05 on a back of any jersey besides some wacko, ludicrous NBA jersey? Have you ever seen it? I guess, oddly enough, I think the Dodgers actually have a jersey like that. But besides any of that Nike bullshit.
You know the FUBU brand? People were calling it a FUBU jersey.
Yeah, honestly, like if I got one, I'd probably keep it just for the lore.
Exclusivity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of one. Even though it sounds like it happened to a lot of people. So it
happened to at least 2 people.
One of one.
And then like Respectable Adam posted his, and he got a Surratt jersey, and you looked, and like the one on the shoulder had a black outline, and the font on the back was wrong, and it was just like fact that they exist are good, but it's just, if you're gonna do it right, and if you're not gonna do it right, give the rights or the licensing to somebody who's gonna do it right, or people are just gonna go to whatever website overseas and like. People are making the child labor joke because they're like, is this really what the bookstore is going to do? Because I'm just going to go get my jersey from overseas. Like, how do you blame people if you're not going to give them like,
you're not going to do it right? Don't do it at all. It's kind of my philosophy for life. So it's like, yeah, they should probably stop.
Figure that
out. Yeah, figure it out. Just figure it out. You know.
Nick Saban last week confirmed what we and most of the Big Ten has been saying for 6 months to a year now, that NIL has made the Big Ten the destination conference and that it has the slight edge over the SEC. I got to be honest, two things. I was a little surprised those comments came out from Nick Saban, and I was also very surprised the first place I saw those comments was on 3, and then I thought about it a little bit, and I'm not surprised I didn't see those comments anywhere on ESPN.
Why?
Why would you have somebody who sits on your biggest college football show say that the other brand is bigger and promote that everywhere? I don't know.
Don't you want bipartisan coverage?
Not when you have the TV contract. Which is why,
like, that shouldn't matter, though. You know, don't these guys like, you know how doctors like sign, like they like swear, and like lawyers do that? Like, shouldn't that be same standards for like media? I don't know. Throw on American Idiot by Green Day. They'll explain the whole thing. You know, they'll explain it all. You know, one nation controlled by the media. It's all propaganda. You know.
Well, if you want to put on,
sucks because I am media. Like, I'm like the anti-media. I don't know if that's like a niche that I'm trying to like.
Because you wear sunglasses inside, yeah.
Huh?
Well, if you want to put on the tinfoil hats a little bit, I'm gonna write about this. But
Indiana, tinfoil hat. I got it.
Illinois and Indiana was picked to be the night game. It's gonna be the NBC night game. The 3:30 NBC game is gonna be Notre Dame heading to Purdue. I bring that up to say there are a couple of different moving parts here that people are just going to have to bear with me for a second. But the first thing that ESPN did when they acquired the rights for WWE's pay-per-view was basically hand-in-hand announce an event that's going to be taking place in Indy the same day. So now in Indiana that day, you have Illinois and Indiana, you have Notre Dame and Purdue, and then in Indianapolis, you have WWE's WrestlePalooza, this thrown together event that they're using to counter program AEW and add another day for whatever. This isn't a wrestling show. I don't think it's an accident that ESPN, WWE is positioning themselves to challenge directly this contingent of AEW, Big Ten football, Indiana, Illinois, where if you believe it or not, the Khan family has connections to AEW wrestling and Illinois football. ESPN has this anti-Big Ten bias. I'm just saying there's a lot of
you're throwing the Khan family into this. I haven't even heard the Khan family be involved with the University of Illinois one time as long as I was a Jags fan.
Listen, I'm just saying when you do something like pull your biggest Indiana supporter off your college football show and put him on wrestling for the day when the show is in Indiana, when it's arguably the biggest college football weekend in the state of Indiana, alarm bells go off for me. The fact that Pat McAfee is going to be on WWE that night and not simulcasting or doing like some sort of thing for these big Indiana sports days, I don't know. Alarm bells are going off for me. We can take off the tinfoil hats now, but like when too many different things line up, it's hard for it to be a coincidence for me. And in one hand, it's good business, right? You take Pat McAfee and you put him on WWE, and you take all those would-be viewers he'd bring in, you try and put him on wrestling and not Indiana football. Like, I get it, but there's something to this. There's something there.
I was shocked we didn't get Big Noon or CBS. You know, I was shocked because
I was a little surprised.
I went ahead
that's my point.
I got Peggy Goo tickets for that day. You know,
well,
now it's going to coincide. I might have to sell them, which stinks.
Well, let me wrap this up. You know who lost the WWE pay-per-view rights, or the WWE like PLE rights? Peacock, NBC.
Okay, that Colorado digs in the chat. He likes it. I don't hate it either.
It's a little loose. It's not as buttoned up as I'd like it to be, which is why I haven't been able to put it on paper yet. But I'm figuring it out. But the counter programming angle is real. The anti Big Ten agenda from ESPN is definitely real, and the way the Khan family loops into all of this with the Illinois and the Big Ten backing and the AEW wrestling, it's just there's a lot there for like I feel like a mini like Pablo Torre finds out type of deal, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah, they didn't even announce a Big Noon kickoff for that week in the conference, and that's supposed to be exclusively Big Ten thing. Like I know the Big 12 sometimes gets theirs, but that once conference play happens, like that should be all Big Ten. based on the contract. I feel like I didn't read the terms. So it's a little weird that they didn't just throw, they gave the CBS spot to Michigan, Nebraska, which I'm like, okay, two big brands on CBS. I fuck with it. I fuck with the vision. Throw Tennessee and Florida on there every year like they did in the past. It's like the same thing with Michigan, Nebraska. I don't know how we didn't get Big Noon kickoff. I don't know. I don't know how it didn't happen. I'm at a loss for words. I'm honestly pretty upset about
I'm telling you why we didn't. That is my theory for why we didn't get. Well, first of all, it was never going to be game day. It was never going to be game day, and the fact that they pulled Pat so early, like he was never going to be there. But the fact that it wasn't the CBS game or it wasn't the Big Noon game. This is NBC Peacock going directly at ESPN. That's my guess.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that it's a game in the same state as that event's taking place, I think matters as well.
Yeah, I think there's something to it, especially with it being all in state. I'll give your conspiracy theory a 7.8. I think it's
that's better than I was expecting.
I think there's something there.
John says, how many points is not having McAfee here worth? I don't know if it's I don't think he really has that much of an impact. I'm just saying, like, he's by far their most vocal supporter of Indiana football. And so why would you, in the biggest day of Indiana football in the state, when the three teams are playing, two of them are playing each other and one of them's playing Illinois. It's
a top 10 team at home. Well, yeah. And they're also ranked, by the way. It's puzzling.